Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm George Skiadopoulos, Director of the Institute of Finance and Financial Regulation. Welcome to the 5th conference on ESG for banks, firms, and investors, co-organized by the Institute of Finance and Financial Regulation and the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. We have the pleasure to have with us today a lineup of distinguished speakers, both professionals and academics, who are going to address timely topics in the ESG field. May I say in advance that this is not a typical kind of conference where only common beliefs are reproduced, but we're going to address a number of timely topics in a critical way and in a very stimulating, we hope, debate. Before getting into more details, may I first thank EBRD for the wonderful collaboration we have over the past 5 years. And may I also thank our valuable sponsors, in particular our gold sponsor, Piraeus Bank, our silver sponsors, Alpha Real Estate Services, Demand, and Prodea Investments, our supporters, the CFA Society Greece, the Hellenic Bank Association, the Hellenic Fund and Asset Management Association, and the University of Piraeus Research Center. IFFR is operating under the auspices of the Department of Banking and Financial Management of the University of Piraeus. This is the oldest department in finance in Greece. May I also thank our media partners, in particular Business Daily, Capital GR, Euro Today, and Next Deal. And last but not least, of course, our IFFR team, and in particular, Maria Giuli. Before passing the floor to Mrs. Kalligiannaki, may I also provide a couple of details on the logistics. So we're going to have sessions where solo presentations are going to take place. We're going to have a moderator in each session. And once speakers complete their presentations, then we're going to have some time for Q&A with the audience. So please feel free to submit any questions you may have through the Eventora online platform. I should also thank Eventora for our continuous collaboration. So again, feel free to pass questions. And also we're going to have a roundtable panel discussion where no slides presentations are going to be shown, but we're going to have a very vivid discussion. So again, feel free to submit any questions you may have there. So I have the pleasure to introduce Ms. Angeliki Kalligiannaki. Angeliki, welcome. Angeliki is the head of EBRD in Greece, and she has a rich career in banking and in the financial industry as well. So Angeliki has been with EBRD since 2013, and before that, she held positions in the Standard & Poor's and in the European Investment Bank. Angeliki, thank you very much. Angeliki is going to provide a few opening remarks. So Angeliki, the floor is yours for the next few minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Skiadopoulos. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to participate at this year's ESG conference for banks, firms, and institutional investors. 2025 marks the final year of a five-year green economy transition approach that was introduced in 2021, right after the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. Over this 5-year period, the EBRD aimed to increase green financing to more than 50% of its annual business volume and achieve a net reduction in greenhouse gas emissions of at least 25 million tons. We are proud to say that we have achieved both these targets well in advance. In 2024, EBRD delivered a record 9.7 billion of green finance, a 48% increase versus the previous year, surpassing by 8% our commitment. This translates to a significant impact with an expected annual CO2 reductions close to 11 million tons for 2024 only. Almost half of our green investments last year actually came from our financial institution clients. And we also mobilized additionally 19 billion of private sector green finance. Since 2023, all our operations are fully aligned with the goals of the Paris Agreement, a fundamental principle that guides everything we do. Each year, we work closely with our donors and partners to achieve three main objectives. First of all, to enhance policy engagement for the development of long-term low-carbon strategies and the greening of the financial systems, scale investments across a set of environmental, climate mitigation and resilient priorities, and lastly, to help mobilize climate finance for our clients. The EBRD also recognizes the critical role that the financial institutions play in driving the transition to a low-carbon economy. Towards this direction, the bank provides targeted support. Apart from our flagship green economy financing facilities which combine concessional finance, incentive grants, and dedicated technical support for green investments, we also work closely with our partners in the trade facilitation program to increase the share of green trade. We also focus now more and more on developing the sustainable capital markets, which has rapidly grown to become a cornerstone for mobilizing private finance into green investments. As of the end of 2024, the cumulative issuance of green, social, sustainability linked and related labeled bonds exceeded 6 trillion, a remarkable expansion from just 1 trillion in 2019. EBRD is both an issuer through our green bond program, but also an investor that acts as a catalyst in our countries of operations. Since our very first green bond investment in 2017, the EBRD has channeled over 3.1 billion into green labeled bonds across 17 countries. Thanks to our donor-funded technical assistance and policy dialogue, we are committed to build transparent, high-integrity green capital markets. Financial institutions were the main issuers of such bonds in which EBRD has invested with a 60% share, a trend that we see across the years. In 2024, two notable projects include EBRD investment in a debut sustainability-linked bond issued by Egyptian bank, which was actually the first of its type in Egypt and the largest of such bond issued by a private bank in Africa. As well as we participated in the first green bond in Mongolia issued by a local bank. We are also increasingly encouraging our partners to begin developing their transition plans. This includes building internal capacity, establishing climate governance, and understand actually the climate-related risks and opportunities. To promote systemic change, the EBRD has established the Corporate Climate Governance Facility, which provides technical assistance to businesses and financial institutions across all our regions. This initiative helps both our corporate NFI clients to enhance the climate strategies, risk management, and sustainability disclosures. As part of our overall efforts in bringing all the relevant stakeholders together, the bank organizes various events dedicated to financial institutions and financial regulators, including our inaugural event in Vienna in 2023 and Pathways to Paris 2024 that took place last September in Antalya and brought together related parties from Europe, Asia, and North Africa. Turning now to Greece, since the beginning of our operations in the country in 2015, EBRD has invested over 8.3 billion in 119 projects. We have supported over 250 Greek SMEs, including on decarbonizing their operations, and we are currently advising the Greek government on 13 PPP projects in critical infrastructure areas like waste and water management. On the green front, the EBRD has committed over 2 billion in Greece. These investments are estimated to reduce annual CO2 emissions by more than 3.8 kilotons, the equivalent of removing more than 850 million vehicles from circulation. We have also participated in policy engagement on designing the country's capital markets development strategy, including including green matters. While we have also heavily invested as the largest institutional investor in Greek bonds, we have invested in green and sustainability-linked bonds issued by both Greek corporates and banks. In 2023 and 2024, over 50% of our investments in Greece were actually green. Notable transactions through the years includes our investments in a series of sustainability-linked bonds issued by PPC, the largest energy utility company in the country, and subsequently we have supported PPC with direct equity, 100 million direct equity, to help them decarbonize their operations and close their lignite plants by the end of 2026. While on green buildings, EBRD has also been very, very active. We maintain a JV partnership with the Greek real estate developer Demand for the development and repurposing of green certified assets at high levels of certification. To that end, we have also invested last year approximately 22 million of direct equity in Skyline Real Estate alongside Demand and Premia, while we have also committed approximately 23 million of equity in Lambda Development to develop green certified buildings in the flagship Ellinikon urban regeneration project. Greek firms, like the others in the EU, are responding to an evolving regulatory landscape, including CSRD, CFDR, and the newly enacted Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive. This framework pushes for transparency, enforceable ESG practices across the value chains, reshaping how companies manage risk and align with their sustainability goals. To build capacity in response, the EBRD worked with the World Economic Forum Climate Governance Initiative to launch Chapter Zero Greece, supporting board-level climate action and embedding ESG corporate strategies. Such efforts aim to embed climate considerations into corporate decision-making and foster a new generation of climate-conscious leaders. Sustainability is not just an option, but a necessity for the future of our societies and economies. In a world facing constantly climate crises, inequalities, and depletion of natural resources, the transition to a green model is imperative. The role of financial institutions such as the EBRD is crucial, not only to direct capital, but also expertise to projects that offer economic, environmental, and social long-term benefits. We hope that this event stimulates dialogue between EBRD, financial intermediaries, and policymakers. Such events like the one today are very important to us because they act as a means of identifying how and where we can best focus our support to further push the ESG agenda, both in terms of investment and technical support. So a big thank to the organizers for the invitation, and I'm looking forward to the discussions ahead.
Thank you, Angeliki. As I said, this is the 5th year we're running with EBRD this conference, and actually we're very pleased to see how it has grown over the years. We very humbly have to say that this is actually nowadays one of the biggest conferences in the world in terms of attendance and registrations. Actually, today I got the numbers now. We have more than 700 registrations from all over the world. So again, it's a real pleasure collaborating with you.